Hello everybody and welcome back to episode 2 of Tactics of History. Today we are going through the second variation of the Magyars sort of WM424 thing they're going with, but today we're going to be running a strikerless version. What I'm going to do now is pop up a picture of the tactic around here so you can see roughly what it looks like. This is a suggestion from someone in the Discord, Tactic Guru Pulse. I will put his link down in the description below. But yeah, this is the sort of system that they used. You can see where the players sort of fit in. You can maybe see why we went with what we did in the last episode as well. But yeah, we're going to be playing the strikerless version today. So let's have a look at it in Football Manager. Right, so here we are, the tactic. As you can see, we're in January again. This is how we're going to do it. We're always going to come in January so you can get a little bit of an idea of how the tactic's done in the first sort of half of the season. And it's done similarly to the previous tactic. But yeah, this is how it's run. These are the players that we're using. I trained Vardy using the editor to make him a attacking midfielder so that he has the ability to sort of still play in the team. But let's have a look at the competition table. And Leicester are quite respectably 6th. They're only a couple points behind Liverpool. Yes, they've got a game in hand, but it's only a couple of points. Yes, also you could say they are only a few points from being down here. But it's not been too bad. Vardy's been up there in the goals. Let's have a look at the goals tally. He's right up there. He's got the same as Dominic Calvert-Lewin, so joint third in that goal scoring chart. Arsenal and Man United are the two sort of powerhouses this season as well, which is quite interesting. But yeah, let's have a look at the analysis and see sort of what it says to do. One thing I did change was we went to a higher tempo just because it seemed like it helped it out. I'd done that after about 8 games because it was something that we were sort of dwelling on the ball a bit too much and not really doing anything with it because we do hold a lot of possession. So I thought, right, we'll up the tempo and try and go a bit further forward, and it seemed to help. But if we look at the analysis, the strengths are that you're restricting your opponents to very, very few shots. We're not conceding shots in the penalty area, really. And there's a lot of final third entries. You can see the shoot on sight is something that they'd like to add. I'm tentative to do this because I don't really like it. You can see some of our recent results beating teams like Chelsea, drawing with Man United, who've been unbelievable, losing 3-1 to Man City, who've also been very, very good, though. So it's been a mixed bag if we look at the schedule. Like, we've beaten some teams quite well. Like Wolves, we've beaten 3-0. We've beaten Tottenham 2-0. We unfortunately lost to Bournemouth on the first game and to Brighton. And this is when I was like, I think it was after the Arsenal game, I was like, right, let's put the tempo up. And after that, we sort of turned it around a little. And we're not actually going to change anything for the second half of the season. It's just sort of going to stay like this. And we're just going to see where this tactic finishes. I think it works quite well. It's nothing too special in terms of, is this going to win you stuff? Maybe not with these players, but you've got to remember that none of these players are designed to play in this system. And I don't think this is a particularly strong team for this system. Maddison's playing out of position. We're having to start Graves, probably not good enough. Tielemans isn't in his most comfortable role. You could argue we could move Tielemans over here, and that might work. But I sort of want him to be central because that's what Hidaguti would have been. He would have been more central, part of this almost attacking 3. I don't want to move him over here because that, as much as for the red squares it makes a difference, I think this is where he actually would play. And I want Evans to step out with Ndidi alongside him. I just think it'll work better. But yeah, let's get into the second half of the season and see where the results went. Okay, so we are back. As you can see, we did sign Servi in the time after that last clip. But the links have started to falter a little bit. The players didn't quite play to their own levels, and they've eventually dropped down to 8th in the table, but they were so close to being 6th. I really think if this tactic had players that really suited it, it would work a lot better. Like, I think if Maddison and Vardy had been able to play this all season, that might have helped. If we had fullbacks who were maybe a bit more defensively oriented, these are two very good attacking fullbacks, not necessarily the most defensive fullbacks in the world. Evans, I don't think is really the good enough sort of player to play this stopper role. I don't think he's aggressive enough. I don't think he's quick enough either. So I think with a few player signings, and maybe a goalkeeper that's a bit more used to the system as well, we could really see a difference in how this tactic performs. So if you are going to try this tactic out, please do let me know how it performs with your teams, because I think a few changes and this could be an incredible, incredible system. One player who suffers, I think, from this is Tielemans. He's probably not athletic enough to play this role. I really don't think he's athletic enough. He's technically good enough and mentally good enough. He's just not a particular sort of athlete, you know? So I think you'd need someone with a bit more, almost box-to-box presence about them. Good stamina, good pace, work rate, things like that. And you want them to have that attacking ability. I'd say maybe Maddison would probably be a better player for the role. I think he's got a little bit more attacking about him. So if I had to do this again, I would probably try and sign someone to replace Maddison up here. Maybe someone who's like it, maybe even play Iheanacho in here. Instead, you've got two striker-like players. But let me know. You obviously could play it as two strikers, and it would work just as well. I think, anyway. But I think this allows the attacking midfielders allow you to sort of compress into this block when defending. That'll make you a lot less vulnerable. Like if we go and look at our, let's have a look at goals conceded and things like that. Like how did we do? Team detailed. I should really know this. Conceded. So where were we? So we were 10. So we weren't too bad, considering we were playing sort of one whole defensive midfielder. We're sort of middling in that, which I think is pretty good. I'd be quite sort of happy with that, considering we could make some improvements and that might change dramatically. You know, we could maybe get towards this 40-something quite easily with a few changes. But yeah, that is the tactic, and that's how it's performed. 8th in the league, only a point off European football. So I think that's a little disappointing. They did do okay in the Cup as well. We got to the quarterfinals, so it's close to being really, really good. It's close. It needs a few tweaks. Maybe suggest some tweaks down below, what you think would work best. But yeah, this has been another episode of Tactics of History. I've been Jake. If you want to see more like this, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to see more FM gameplay, head down below to the Twitch that I use pretty much daily now. So yeah, I will see you all again very, very soon. Next episode of this will be out on Sunday. So yeah, I'll see you in a bit. Goodbye.